Elias Ward stepped off the bus as if the ground itself might collapse beneath him, his breath frosting in the frigid Ravenhold air. He had taken a one-way ticket to the coldest, most forgotten place he could find on the map somewhere. People didn't ask questions. Somewhere nobody would recognize the ghost he had become. His duffel bag hung off his shoulder like a burden he had been carrying for years, stuffed not with belongings, but with memories he wished he could bury. Ravenhold was small, just scattered wooden cabins drowning in snow, the kind of town that didn't welcome strangers, unless they came with good whiskey or bad intentions. Elias brought neither. He brought only silence and scars that stretched deeper than they looked. He walked toward the dimly lit inn at the end of the path, forcing each step through snow that rose almost to his knees. Somewhere behind the swirling flakes, a branch cracked, a clean, deliberate snap like a warning. Elias stopped instantly. Instinct, sharpened by years of war, screamed at him to listen. Another crack echoed. His breath tightened. The forest felt alive in a way that didn't belong to nature. Before he could decide whether to flee or fight, a voice sliced through the darkness. Wrong direction. It wasn't loud, but it was sharp enough to freeze the snowflakes mid-air. A woman emerged from the tree line, her bow already drawn, an arrow aimed right at his heart. Her face was half-shadowed beneath tangled black hair, but the scar slashing across her cheek gleamed like a pale crescent. Her eyes were steady, feral, distrustful, and yet strangely aware of him in a way no stranger should be. She moved closer, silent as the falling snow. "Turn around," she hissed. "You step into Ravenhold with that scent of death on you, and the forest will claim you before morning." Elias raised his hand slowly. "I'm not here to start trouble." "Good," she whispered, lowering the arrow an inch, "because trouble already followed you here." Her name, Kayla, thorn, slipped through the inn's smoky air as naturally as a blade sliding from its sheath. She had escorted Elias inside with the wary posture of someone who trusted nothing, not even her own footsteps. The innkeeper, a thick-bearded man with tired eyes, paused mid-polish when Kayla entered, giving her a nod of respect reserved for wolves rather than people. When he looked at Elias, that respect vanished, replaced by suspicion thick enough to taste. "The forest's been whispering tonight," the old man muttered. "Always means something's coming." Elias frowned, still trembling from the encounter outside. "Forests don't whisper." Kayla stepped closer, her presence like cold steel against his spine. "Here," she murmured. "They do." She sat opposite him, bow resting against her chair, eyes dissecting every inch of him. "You're running," she said. Not a guess, a statement. Elias tried to form a denial, but she cut him off with a raised hand. "It's all over you. Your limp, your silence, your nightmares sitting right behind your eyes." Elias exhaled shakily. "You know nothing about me." "I know you smell like guilt and blood," Kayla countered. "And the creatures in this forest? They hunger for that." Her scar caught the firelight, twisting like a pale snake. Elias wondered what or who had carved it there. As if reading his thoughts, her fingers brushed it lightly. "A reminder," she said quietly, "of what the forest can take." Before he could ask more, a distant howl tore through the night, long and guttural, vibrating the wooden walls. The inn fell silent. Every patron stiffened like prey sensing a predator. Kayla stood immediately, stringing her bow in one fluid motion. "Stay here." Elias rose too. "No." She blinked at him, surprised, then nodded grudgingly. "Fine, but listen closely. Don't meet the creature's eyes. They steal what's left of your soul." Elias swallowed. "What is it?" "A forest wight." Her voice dropped, a spirit twisted by sorrow. "And yours?" Her gaze pinned him. "Is calling to it." They plunged into the storm-swallowed forest, Kayla leading with the silent precision of a predator that had memorized every branch, every shadow. Elias followed, boots sinking into the snow, breath ragged as the cold bit through his jacket. The trees soared around them like ancient sentinels, their branches creaking under the weight of ice. The deeper they went, the more wrong the air felt, thicker, colder, humming with something Elias could neither see nor understand. "What exactly is a forest wight?" he asked softly. Kayla didn't look back. "A soul that died drowning in regret. It doesn't rest. It hunts the living who carry the same weight." Elias's stomach tightened. So it's after me. It's after whatever broke you, Kayla corrected. And you carry it loud. The howl came again, closer, sharper, echoing like 100 dying voices fused into one. Elias flinched, knees buckling for a moment. Memories slammed into him, battlefields burning. Screaming soldiers, the night he failed them all. Kayla grabbed his collar before he stumbled into the snow. Control your mind, she ordered, her breath warm against the freezing air. White slipped through cracks in your spirit. Don't let them find any. Suddenly, snow erupted behind them, scattering white shards. A creature lurched forward, tall and skeletal, its bones protruding through translucent flesh. Its hollow eyes swirled with fog. Its jaw unhinged unnaturally as it hissed his name, not spoken, but echoed in the voices of the men he lost. Elias froze. Jace's voice, Cam's voice, the dying ones calling him, the guilt dragging him under like tar. Kayla moved first. Her arrow sliced the air and pierced the white's throat. It convulsed, dissolving into ash that drifted across Elias's face like dead snow. Kayla shoved him against a tree. Never freeze like that again. Her voice cracked with real fear. Do that, and the forest will eat you alive. Elias barely breathed. It used their voices. Whites weaponize what hurts most. Kayla cupped his jaw, forcing him to meet her fierce gaze. Look at me, not at your ghosts. And for the first time since he arrived, Elias obeyed. Elias didn't expect redemption to come in the shape of another monster. 3 more whites slid between the trees, their movements jerky, their limbs bending in ways that defied anatomy. Kayla knocked an arrow, whispering, "Stay behind me." But Elias stepped forward instead. Something in him refused to shatter again under memories of failures he could no longer outrun. The first white lunged, and Elias met it head-on. He ducked beneath its claws and rammed it into a tree, the impact vibrating up his spine. The creature screeched, breath cold as winter graves, its whispers clawing into his skull. You abandoned us. The voices of his fallen squad swirled inside him, threatening to drown him in their grief. But Kayla's sharp command cut through the fog. Elias, eyes on me! He really looked at her, at the fire in her eyes, at the strength she carried alone. And something inside him anchored. With a primal roar, he snapped the creature's neck. Snow scattered like shards of light as its body dissolved. Kayla shot 2 more whites with flawless precision, but the last one pinned Elias against the ground. Its face contorted into the last soldier he failed. Why did you live? It hissed. Elias's voice trembled. I don't know. Then learn, Kayla snarled, plunging her blade into the white's spine. Silence fell, thick and absolute. Elias stared at her, breath shaking. Why help me? She hesitated. Snow collected softly on her scar. Because someone helped me once. When I didn't deserve it. She turned away. But Elias saw the pain she carried, heavy and unspoken. As they walked back toward the village, she paused suddenly. There's something you should know. Her voice trembled. I wasn't always the Huntress. I had a sister, Lyra. The forest twisted her into a white. The revelation hit. Elias like cold water. Kayla! I'm sorry. She nodded, jaw tight. Tomorrow the storm will rise. I can feel it in the roots. Lyra is coming. Elias clenched his fists. Then we face her. Together. For the first time, Kayla didn't argue. By twilight the next evening, the forest hummed with restless energy. Every tree seemed to tremble, every gust of wind carried the echo of distant cries. Kayla led Elias deeper than before, past frozen streams, past ancient runes etched into stones half swallowed by moss. This is where she died, Kayla whispered. Where the forest took her. In the clearing stood a stone circle older than Ravenhold itself, its symbols glowing faintly like embers breathing in the dark. Elias felt the weight of thousands of forgotten spirits pressing against his skin. Then came the voice, soft, lilting, heartbreakingly human. Kayla. A figure stepped from the shadows. Thin, elongated, bones bending unnaturally beneath gray skin, silver eyes glowing like dying stars. Lyra. Kayla's breath hitched. Sister. For a moment, the world held still, 2 lives suspended between memory and nightmare. Then Lyra moved, fast, too fast. Kayla barely dodged as twisted claws sliced the air. Elias charged, but Lyra's strength was monstrous. She hurled him across the stones, ribs screaming in protest. Kayla loosed an arrow straight into Lyra's shoulder. The creature shrieked, sound splitting the air like broken glass. "We can't kill her by force," Elias gasped, staggering to his feet. "What do we do?" Kayla's hands trembled on her bowstring. "Whites cling to what they lost. We free them by giving acceptance." She stepped forward, lowering her bow. "Lyra, I'm sorry." The creature's face twisted, hurt, rage, longing. Elias saw the last flicker of humanity inside those silver eyes. Lyra lunged again, torn between hunger and recognition. Elias intercepted her, grabbing her arms though her claws tore into his skin. "Kayla, now!" Kayla fired her final arrow, straight into Lyra's heart. A surge of light erupted, warm and gentle, washing over the clearing like sunrise. Lyra's twisted form softened, dissolving into drifting silver dust. For a heartbeat, Elias heard a human whisper, "Thank you." Kayla collapsed to her knees, sobbing silently. Elias knelt beside her, ignoring the blood on his arms. "It's over," he murmured. Kayla leaned into him, eyes red but resolved. "For her, yes. But for us, this is the beginning." They walked out of the forest side by side, not as broken souls, but as two people who finally stopped running from themselves. Ravenhold, once a place of exile, had become a place to heal,